What's going on, guys? We're talking about ankle mobility, but more importantly, probably the plantar fascia and that tissue on the bottoms of your feet. There is a video in here, obviously, as well in the mobility tab on how to do just specific ankle mobility in calves. But I do find this one is nice to kind of understand the tissue that's around the foot and around the calves. Because even for me personally, I've had like the plantar fasciitis stuff. I got some annoying stuff going on in my foot at the moment. So I thought I would share with you guys to kind of help hopefully alleviate any stuff you have going on, or just to find any tight or trouble spots, or to improve your ankle mobility and on the tissue quality on the bottoms of your feet. So again, if you guys know it or not, you do have fascia at the bottom of your feet. Think of like from your heel to your toes. It almost makes like this, you know, kind of V pattern or like a reverse triangle. And you can roll the bottoms of your feet. I do like, you know, lacrosse balls, racket balls, but I've been falling in love with the peanut here because you get different angles. You guys can dig in. Don't mind the dog hair on my socks here. But again, it could be just you guys sitting on it when you find a tight or trouble spot, or really rolling on it and wrenching on it. Now the insides of my arches, I got a bunch of ropey spots that are really tender and tight there. And so I try to slowly roll through them, and it is painful for sure. If you guys have never rolled the bottoms of your feet, you're gonna step on something and be like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, it's real. I also like, because on the peanut, I can kind of put my foot inside the crux of it. I can really dig in inside there and find any spots that aren't smooth. If you guys are finding those, or they're really tender and tight, spend the time there as you guys need to. Now, I would say obviously do both of your feet, you know, spend the time on the one that's like worse compared to the one that's obviously a little bit better. Now, that's mobilizing it. So that's us working through the tissue. You can also do it manually with your fingers. I like that as well. But one of my favorite stretches, not just for the ankles, but also for the plantar fascia itself. If you guys could come down to kind of the kneeling position and just kind of shift your weight back in your butt and have it be close to your heel here. It's stretching the bottoms of my feet like crazy. So I'm really kind of putting the pressure and all my weight on there. If it's too much for you guys, you can put your hands in front, but if I shift a little bit to the right, it's going to stretch. If I shift a little bit to the left, and I'm kind of flossing through the bottom tissue of my feet here. For a lot of people, this is a tough one to be into. Again, if you get the mobility, you guys can put the hands back. You can be here. You can play with it. But again, it's from this elevated position. The other one I like is for the actual front of the feet and the tops of your feet, because there's tissue obviously above there as well too. So what I do is I come down, I let my feet be completely flat on the backside. Try to sink into it. Now again, for you guys, knee mobility, hip mobility is all part of this too, but I get a great stretch from the tops of my feet just from doing this, and just kind of sinking down in here. Spending a minute or two, if you can, on the front and the back, I think is great for you guys. For me, I'll shift my hands back, I'll kind of relax. It's a nice added little quad stretch too, but really it's the tops of the feet. So if I shift to the right, it's stretching the top of that right foot like crazy. If I shift to the left, it does the same thing. If you guys aren't quite there yet and you don't have the mobility, simply just take your foot and drag it, almost like a, you know, like a semi-squat on this opposite leg, and you can just drag it from here. If you guys aren't there, it might just be you just kind of putting the top toe knuckles down and really just kind of pushing through. I can get a pretty good stretch from there too, as I just kind of dig in and I play with it. So again, it's not rocket science, but it's something that you guys should work on and be mindful of, especially if you do a lot of running. I think mine honestly came from doing sled pushes every day for about 30 days. So roll the bottoms of the feet, slow, quick, play with it. Again, like I said, you can take the fingers and work your fingers through too, and just really focus on the spots that are tight and trouble spots. You can actually take your fingers and stretch the tissue too, and you can press on it and find these spots that really bother you. But try to dig in and really just stretch the tissue, but also mobilize it in between. Hopefully the feet and the ankles stay loose and stay healthy.